Lesson 1, topic exponents. Learning target, I can use the exponent rules to simplify algebraic expressions. First off, a reminder of our vocabulary around powers. The entire thing, base and exponent, is called the power. So 3 to the 4th power is how we would read that. Base is the big number. You can just remember B and B for big base. And then the small little number is the exponent. So 3 to the 4th power just means we have 4 3's that are being multiplied together. From our investigation that we did last class, we have product of powers property, which says when we multiply, so product means times. When we multiply two powers, as long as they have the same base, same big number, we can add the two exponents. So a real example of this would be 3 to the 3rd power times 3 to the 9th power. We can make that 3 to the 3rd power plus the 9th power. And we can simplify 3 plus 9, which is 12. So it would actually be 3 to the 12th power. Quotients of a power property. Quotient means we're dividing. And again, they have to have the same big number. This only works for things with the same big number. When we are dividing, we can subtract the powers. So if we had, let's say, 4 to the 7th power divided by 4 to the 2nd power, we could subtract the exponent. So we do 7 minus 2, and we would get 4 to the 5th power. And then lastly, power of a power property. We're taking a power, raising it to another power. So key pieces for this is, you'll see parentheses, and you'll only see one big number, just one big number there. And so with this one, we multiply the powers. We do multiplication. So an example of this would be, we had 5 to the 3rd power raised to the 5th power. We could do 5 to the 3rd times the 5th power, which would equal 5 to the 15th power. So let's just try a couple more examples of this. We have 4 times 4 to the 5th power. Now, any just normal number is always raised to the power of 1. So that's really 4 to the 1st power raised times 4 to the 5th power. So we would use our multiplication rule, which tells us that we can add our exponents. So the exponential form of this would be 4 to the 6th power, because we can add 1 plus 5, which gives us 6. You try the next one and check your answer in Edpuzzle. Now we have a division example. We have 5 to the 7th power over 5 to the 3rd power. So our rule when we're dividing tells us that we can subtract our exponents. So this is really 5 to the 4th power. And now I would like you to try the second problem and check your answer in Edpuzzle. Next, we have power raised to a power. We have 4 to the negative 4th power raised to the negative 2nd power, which means we can multiply our exponents, which gives us 4 to the 8th power. Negative 4 times negative 2 is positive 8. I would like you to try that last one and check your answer in Edpuzzle. Lastly, we're going to talk about the distributive property with exponents. Now, sometimes there'll be multiple big numbers in the parenthesis and then a power on the outside. That gives the power to all the numbers in the parentheses. So for our first example, we have 2a raised to the power of 4. You can see you have two things inside the parenthesis, 2 and a, and then the 4 is on the outside of the parenthesis. So the first step is just to separate those two things. We want to understand that this is 2 times a raised to the 4th power. And then we apply the distributive property. We give the power to all the numbers or variables, because variables are just a number placeholder, in the parenthesis. So we give the 4 to the 2, and then we give the 4 to the a. Still multiplication in the middle. We're just separating that out. And then the last thing that we do is we just simplify what we can. So 2 to the 4th power, we can simplify. We can use our calculator. So 2 to the 4th power, I'm going to do 2 to the 4th power, and that is 16. So I know that this is 16 times a to the 4th power. Because I don't know what a is, I just leave it as a to the 4th power, and that's my final answer. So let's try another one. Here we have 5 times x being raised to the 5th power. We give that power to both numbers in the parentheses. So we split it up, give them each their own parenthesis, and then we simplify what we can. So we'll do 5 raised to the 5th power, and we get 3,125. And then that is still being multiplied by x to the 5th power. Now, sometimes there will be more than 2 things in the parentheses. So you can see here we have 3 times x times y. And that's okay. We still apply the same concept. We just have 3 numbers in the parentheses instead of 2. So again, the exponent gets applied to all the different pieces that are in the parentheses. So 3 gets the 9th power, x gets the 9th power, and y also gets the 9th power. And then again, we simplify that by figuring out what 3 to the 9th power is. It's 19,683. 19,683. And then that'll be times x to the 9th power times y to the 9th power. And that is all on the property of exponents. So go ahead and move into your practice.